roommates, welcome back to Read the Podcast. Hey roommates, welcome back to Read the Room Podcast.
Hi everybody, this is Ambria.
And as always, this is Merv. Thank y'all so much for tuning in again for another week. Yeah. I hope you guys liked last week's episode discussing the State of the Union.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still a very strange time. Like, there's still things that need to be done. The people who killed Breonna Taylor still have not been arrested. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, last week we were deep up in it. This week we are going to use this more of as a break.
Yes.
From everything that's going on, because it is very heavy. So,
we're not... give y'all a mental, emotional break. Yeah. Something that, we can all, tune into.
Lighter.
With that being said, today we're talking about love, relationships, attachment style, love languages, all those things that we love so much.
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
Yes. No. Yes.
All right. So we're going to dive into it. And I want to start by kind of discussing how we thought our love lives, or just lives period, was going to look like at these ages when we were like 15, 16.
Kiki.
Right? In high school, how we had this fairy tale idea of what we were going to be doing at 25, 26. And yeah.
Well, okay, so I usually would base my timeline, trajectory, all that off of my parents. And my mom was 27 when she had me. I'm currently 26.
Are you trying to tell us something?
I'm not telling you that I'm pregnant. I'm telling you that I'm absolutely not and cannot be anytime soon. So I don't know, but you think about it, times are different.
Yeah.
So my parents, I'm first generation, so they hadn't gone to college. So at 18, they started their adult life. They were working their jobs. They're living their life. They did 10 years of adulthood before before my mother had me. I just graduated from law school last year. So my 10 years starts right now.
I feel the exact same way. Like, when I have this conversation, I'm like, bro, I just started being an adult. This is my third year being an adult. I graduated college 3 years ago, and I'm like, I couldn't see myself having that fairy tale life that I wanted when I was 14, 15. It just doesn't seem realistic at this point.
When did you think that was going to be?
So, honestly, first of all, my cousin, she's a year younger than me, maybe 2. She's not making it easier for any of us. Because she's married and has a kid, has a home type thing. I'm just like, bro.
So everybody like, when's your time?
No, my mom is like,
next?
I need a grandkid. Like,
I'm so sorry.
I'm 3 years behind giving her a grandkid.
Yeah.
But I figured, this is when I was 14, 15, I was thinking like, graduate college, 21, 22, around that age, I met someone during college. We probably had been going out, dating. And then by like 23, we would like be married.
You and your college sweetheart?
Ciao.
Talk about college sweetheart.
At 23, we'd be married. 23 to 25, you just like living our lives. And then 25, I'd had my first kid. I turned 25 3 weeks ago. So needless to say, none of those things happened. Maybe I should have bought B. Simone's manifestation book.
Oh, we should have definitely. It's not too late. We could buy the scrapbook.
I could have bought
we could buy it.
And maybe I would have been married with a kid by now.
Probably so, if you manifested it with some emojis and stuff.
Yeah. Well, but as you can see, none of those things happen. And I am not even like being that person when I say this, but I'm so grateful.
I was just about to say, are you happy?
Yes. I'm so happy.
I couldn't imagine having a child right now. And this is not a knock or anything on anyone who chose to be a parent younger, because more power to you and what's best for you. But the way that I know myself right now, and I know I did not know me like this a couple years ago, is just like the growth is crazy. So I don't know that I would have had this time to get to know me as well as I have if I had to worry about my own child.
Yeah, I couldn't see it for myself. Even today, I had a busy day. I didn't even eat today until you came and picked me up. And it's like, imagine if I had a kid.
They'd be like, Mommy, I'm hungry. I'd be like, bro, hold on. I'm busy.
So it's like, if I could barely feed myself and like try to do all these different endeavors I'm doing, what would it look like if I had a kid And then what would it even look like if I had like a husband and a household to take care of?
See, okay, but the thing is, the good thing about this is we know this piece.
Yeah.
And so when you're out there dating or considering people or whatever, you are more aware of what you need because you are busy and you do have all these things and you know how great it feels for your space to be calm and just like, you know, so you're less inclined to get with somebody who's super duper interrupting that if you've experienced how peaceful it is without that.
That's a good point you make. I didn't think of that.
Girl, I mean,
it took me a long time to get to this piece. So, and I had to do a lot of soul searching, and I'm still in it. We still doing it, and it's a lifelong process. But where I was even a year ago to now, it's like a complete 180.
Yes,
and I'm just like enjoying it so much, and I'm just like at that point where, like you mentioned, if it disturbs my peace, it's like I don't know if I can. Man, if you would have called me 18 months ago, I would definitely be able to put up with it. Now it's just like, no. Yeah. It doesn't make sense for me in my life.
Yes.
And where I see my life going.
Yes. At the end of the day, I think that that's most important. Like, are you happy? Because I feel like when we're younger, they sort of romanticize being someone's woman or like having a relationship or put up, you know, like there's ups and downs. And don't get me wrong, I do believe that in every relationship between humans, there's ups and there's downs. But some kinds of ups and downs is not what that mean. Like, I had talked to my friend, she's married.
Yeah.
And she was like, when they say for better or for worse, you don't mean like you cheat on me, I cheat on you, you go have a kid. It's like, okay, what if there's a death in my family? I lose my job. Right. What if there's a natural disaster, a pandemic? That's for better or for worse. Can we figure it out? Not can you do, like, will you do me dirty?
Yeah.
For the rest of the time? Because I'm going to put up, like, no.
And I hate that that's just been something that's been put on us. Especially like since we were little girls. It's like, bro, why would you say that? And it's just like, no. I just had to think about it. I was like, whoa, y'all really used to say that wild stuff to us. Like, this is what you should expect.
Or just nobody's perfect. Just find somebody who at least is like,
I mean, no one's perfect, but like, bro, cheating is like, you know what you're doing.
And okay.
Consistently at that too, bro.
Okay, so is that your breaking point in a relationship, cheating? Okay.
Yes. And I know people say like it looks different until you're in it, but like, I'm trying to put that out in the universe so I at least get someone that don't be cheating.
Okay, I think that younger me, my red flag or my breaking point was cheating alone. Okay, like that's it. You cheat, and then I realized it's so much other stuff that I cannot deal with. I can't deal with lies, which is in the same family of cheating. I can't deal with super insecurity. I can't deal with someone smothering me. But these are all things that younger me would have been like, I mean, it's okay. Like, he just wants to be up under me 24/7. Like, that's okay. But now I'm like, no.
No, I agree. I'm trying to think, like, what are my, like, things? I don't know, cheating is up there.
Cheating is
someone who's, like, emotionally unavailable. Someone, honestly, that hasn't, like, gone to therapy of some sorts or, like, you know, consulted with whatever has happened to them in their life. If you haven't, like, kind of, like, attack that head on, I don't know if I want to be with someone like that because it comes with so much baggage.
Explain it. So you're saying if you know that someone has baggage and they have not addressed it?
Yeah. Or like some type of trauma. I know we all process trauma in a different way, like anything with growing up, but I feel like a lot of times people who are unfortunately in those situations and they don't seek some sort of help to at least talk about what happened or at least kind of get a understanding or process what happened, they tend to then kind of like victimize yourselves consistently, and then they put that on other people. Even they can love you very much, but if they're constantly, you know, putting themselves in the victim position and putting all that emotional baggage on you, I don't think that's fair.
Okay, so you need to be with someone who has been in these years that you've been working on you. You need someone who's at a similar place and there, get to know themselves, like work through their things, process.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be finished.
No, but you at least acknowledge it. Okay.
Because a lot of people don't acknowledge it, and then they just kind of brush off the way that they treat you to like, oh, I'm just going through some things. You wouldn't understand the life of.
That's a good point.
You're right, but like, come on now.
That brings up another one: communication skills.
Yeah.
Because the whole like, oh, I'm going through things. Communicate. You could You know, I be going through some things too, and I bet you know, because I'm gonna tell you, because I talk, okay?
Yeah.
You know, so even if not everyone has to communicate in the same way,
Yeah.
but to just know how you communicate and to be able to communicate those things, because what is a relationship with someone but a series of constant communications
That's
with
it.
them in some way? So it's like, if you can't figure that out,
Right.
it will be difficult.
Right. And I'm not even coming from a position of entitlement where you got to tell me what's going on. You ain't got to tell me.
Right.
But if we're in a situation where we're committing to one another, you have to at least let me know, like, you know what? This week might not be the greatest week for me. So in case I do kind of fall back from communicating with you, just know that I'm just going through, a couple things, and we'll follow back up with you when I'm feeling better.
That assurance. Because if someone's just quiet and then it's like, so, wait, do you still like me? Is this, like, what's happening? Like, I'm talking to you, like, what's going on? The smallest one sentence, hey, like, I'll hit you back, or hey, I'm busy, or it's not, this week is rough, or something.
Yes.
One sentence, 30 seconds of thought.
Goes a long way.
Goes such a long way.
Puts people at ease, too.
Then someone's not on the other end of the phone like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah, and then going off of wanting to, be reassured, and how it's nice to have that feeling. I remember in my last relationship, I was with this guy who I would say, yeah, he loved me, but it was just because he said it, and I know he did, but it was just like the entire time we were together, I always found myself doubting
whether he
actually did, or if he just said
it
just
for you.
Not even for me, because I didn't care for him to say I love you until he was actually ready.
Okay.
And I think when he said it, it was a whole issue because I didn't say right back, because he felt, bro, I'm getting too personal.
He told me he loved me, and I was like, that's interesting.
I don't know if I want to share the rest of that.
No, okay, but moral of the story.
Basically, I feel like I knew it, but just because it wasn't reassured, I had a hard time believing it, because sometimes his actions did not match
just going to
what
say
he was talking about.
Perhaps that's it.
Yeah, and even I remember one time he like surprised me with like a spa day or something like that. Or something like that was there, happened, but it was like nice or whatever. But I was talking to my therapist after. I was like, I didn't really feel it, because like I had, even before that, I had always told him like what I wanted, and he never did those things, and he did what he wanted for me, and I wasn't able to receive it in the moment. I was just like, oh, thank you so much, whatever.
But it's not what you wanted.
When I was thinking about it, it wasn't what I wanted, because he never really listened to what I wanted.
Oh, so that's important to know how your person wants to receive love.
And this is a perfect segue to talk about
love languages.
I love love languages.
I
don't know.
I'm so happy that somebody studied that and figured it out, because so not quite as deep story, but similar. I remember someone in the past had got me some perfumes and stuff, and I felt like they smelled terrible. Okay.
What?
I'm not, but you want to know.
I thought it was going to be a sweet story.
Sorry to disappoint. I hated the smell. My mom liked it, so I gave them to my mom. But at the end of the day, if they knew me, they would know that material things is not usually what I want. My love languages, my number one is quality time, followed by acts of service or like acts of kindness or whatever. So I would rather go somewhere and spend time with you, or even if we have to FaceTime, like whatever, I would rather spend time, or you do some little nice thing for me. Do not go to the store and any, mini, miny, mo, something random, because first of all, gifts is not much of my thing. And then a gift that's not something that I like, you wasted your time.
I feel you on that. At least the first part. Because quality time is also my number one.
Yeah.
But my second is receiving gifts.
Okay.
I love receiving gifts, and I also love giving gifts too.
Yeah.
I feel like with giving gifts, it's like you said, it's not always about the material things. It's like the excitement someone has that they've been looking at this one thing, and then you like surprise them like, oh my God, there you go. That's what I mean by receiving and giving gifts.
Okay. So then maybe I have a little bit of that, but through different way. In college, did you do Strengths Quest?
Yeah, where you have to
figure out what your strengths are. Yeah. Okay, so my number one strength,
I don't remember mine,
is my number one strength is ideation. So I have a bunch of ideas, and then another one of them is individualization. So that means that I like to treat people as specifically as they want to be treated. So if you told me like, oh my gosh, I love that you told me that you liked a book bag and I was gonna get it for you for your birthday, then I was like, let me not do too much. But
you should have did too much.
No, but I remember that you said that you like that, so I'll make a mental note to myself like, okay, she likes that, so for her birthday I will get her that. That's individualization. So for other people, I love
like when I got you them lipsticks. Remember I sent you them to San
Francisco? Yeah, like, you be ugly, so here's some suggestions. No, but for other humans, I love to do that. But with regard to gifts, I don't like giving blank, boring gifts. Yeah. If it's like, I don't remember nothing you said you liked, I'm not about to just like, okay, let me just find something random. I don't really like that as much. Like that and if I know you well enough, then I can give you an individual gift and you can expect a gift.
Yeah, that's
why. If I don't, baby boo.
Anytime, like, I mean, I guess the cat's out the bag now, but y'all be tweeting about it. But anytime, like, it's someone's birthday, I would, like, go and see, like, search keywords and see what I can find that they connect with.
When me and Nicole had got you that perfume that you had tweeted about that one
time.
I
said it 2 weeks before my birthday.
She was like, if y'all don't give me that perfume.
I did ask the store, like, some Chanel Mademoiselle would be great for my birthday.
But we got it for you, though. But we got it.
But stuff like that, because I want to get what you want. It's not about me. This ain't got nothing to do with me. I want to get you what you want. I want to figure out what it is that you like. So that's how I usually, when it comes to like giving and receiving it, that's how I think about it. Like I said, it's not always about the materialistic. Going back to my example, that's why when that happened, I was like, oh, this is cool, but like I didn't.
It's not what you. Yeah, it's something. This is gonna sound so basic and like the standard is on the ground. There's something so attractive about somebody who listens.
Oh my God, yes.
Like that sounds so simple, but like, oh, you remember that about me?
Yes.
Because I said it and you listened to it? That's crazy.
Yes.
I like that.
I love that type of stuff too. Which gives me another example, which is kind of like weird. But like, it's not weird, but I'm telling you anyway. So like a few years ago, this guy like was interested in me. And when we went out on our first date, he like we're just like talking casually. And I think I brought something out. He was like, oh yeah, you wrote about that on your blog. I was like...
Bro, baby, you did research. Like, okay, but that's getting that's a little much.
I mean, if it's on my social media, I don't think that's so
on
much.
Your blog though.
If you're trying to get to know, you just like,
baby, he read every single word. He wants you to know your favorite color.
I didn't think it was weird. I was like, oh shit, you read my blog, but I don't think it's weird because literally it's in my bio on my Instagram.
Okay,
yeah, so it's always been in my bio.
Wait, that's kind of sweet. It was. Think of it that way.
It was really sweet. That's why I'm like. When I think about like my dating experiences, I pick like things that have like felt good to me that people have done or even said, or just like me experiencing or vibing with that person. And when I think about like what I want in the future, I use that as reference.
Okay,
because there has been like good things.
You have a little inkling, like I want a little bit of that.
In the garden of bad, there's been some good stuff.
Of course,
always.
So yeah. Okay, speaking of garden of bad, no, like my like I said, my love language is quality time, so I love to spend time with people, but I realize that has a limit. Yeah. I can't do clingy. Oh my God. Yeah. I can't do under me all the time. We can see each other sometimes, and that'll be great, but, you know, I realize it's not infinite. My desire to spend time with people is not infinite.
And you know what this ties into? Our conversations about boundaries.
Did you listen? Because if you didn't, you can
go back and listen to our very first episode. But yeah, and I think that's perfectly fine.
I agree.
You know, until you get to a situation where you're like married and you have to live with that person, it's okay to be like, bro, you've been here 3 nights in a row. Like, could you go home?
Okay, but could we talk about that though? Because in the event that marriage is in the cards for me,
true.
You damn near. Need a separate wing of the house.
Yeah, bro, that's another thing. It's just like, and a lot of people, like, when we say that, they're like, oh, these new age women. Yeah, you're right, because you guys suck. When we talk about how a lot of people talk about, like, dang, like I want an extra bedroom just in case, just gonna have like that
Space,
separation or that space from your significant other. And then men view that as I don't even know how they view it, but it's just like so like frowned upon.
Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, but another thing to think about is that our opinion on this is based on past experience.
Yeah.
If I get to a place with a person that brings me such peace that I want to always be in the room with them, or that we have an understanding of, okay, well, you go in that other room,
Yeah.
Like, I think about this with my parents. My mom be watching TV upstairs in the room, and my daddy do not be wanting to watch that. So he goes in the basement. So they have plenty of time apart, and then they can, but until you find that balance with someone, it's difficult to fathom spending time under the same roof with them infinitely.
Right. Just to piggyback off your story.
People always would say that in college, like, piggybacking off of, like, bro, that didn't have nothing to do with what I said.
It sure don't. But we're going to piggyback anyways and segue into attachment styles. So,
perfect.
Obviously, you know what your attachment style is, but the people that listen to us may not have done the test or may not know what it is. So, I'm just going to read a couple different blurbs that kind of conceptualize what attachment styles are. So, basically, this is from Diane Poole Heller. So she's the person who leads one of the adult attachment styles tests.
Hey, Diane.
So she says, contemporary research shows that these early experiences in childhood repeat themselves in adult relationships by how we interact in and what we expect from our significant others. The current research in this field, including her own, has shown great promise in understanding the emotional and neurobiological origins of attachment styles. It is, because it has a relevance to like our brain. So this understanding and a elevation of modern brain science on brain plasticity, I don't know what that means, gives us the exciting opportunity to change the destructive relationship patterns into constructive behaviors that lead to better, more profound, and longer lasting adult relationships.
Okay, so basically she said to know your attachment style is to have better discernment, and relationships at large.
Yeah, so because if you know what was wrong with you,
then you could.
Yeah,
because some of us still like to tap in.
So much tap in. So okay. What's you want me to go first? You want to go talk about your attachment?
Are ours the same? Okay, so I have 46% secure, but then 24% anxious/ambivalent. And that side came out this week.
Yeah, those are my two as well. So obviously secure kind of speaks for itself, but these are the people that in their childhood they have people who were positively tuned to them or provide a safe haven with consistently and good enough care, attention, and affection. Mm-hmm. So basically like an ideal type of upbringing.
Yeah.
And more on the ambivalent side, these were people that had not even just like caregivers, maybe experiences where people were on again, off again, inconsistency, tending and attuning to the child. Because of the lack of a consistency, the child doubts whether their needs will be met and is on the constant lookout for cues and clues to how their behavior may or may not influence the parents' responses. Over time, they find themselves on an emotional seesaw of needs being met and not being met. Their object relation is I can want but cannot have.
See, I don't know about the want and I have part, but I'm just thinking about growing up and my mom, she hated her job. So she used to be pressed. Uh-huh. So I would be like tiptoeing, like, okay, was it a good day? Was it not? Yeah. And I never thought about how I didn't think about until recent years how that relationship probably affects how I deal with other people. I think you turn into kind of a people pleaser if you're in a situation with a parent or just another human like that, because you just want to be on their good side, whatever that means.
No, I get exactly what you're talking about. I think I'm secure because I am ambivalent, if that makes sense. Because growing up, I had like, overall, it was a pretty good upbringing. But there were situations where I think myself and my mom, given she was like the predominant parent throughout my life, my childhood, we never really saw eye to eye. And I think the way she is a mother isn't always the way that I needed to parent.
Oh, so that is a thing.
So that relationship was always kind of like on and off because my needs weren't being met as a child.
Yeah.
even though she was my parent, she gave me the basics, like I had food, water, whatever, going to school and all that stuff. But like emotionally, I think there could have been a better job done in that department. So because of that ambivalent or anxious upbringing, I had to be secure. Like I had to put up this like front that I'm super confident and I know exactly what's going on. So I think that's how this test came out that way for me.
Yes, that's interesting. I think you bring up a good point about parents and giving what their child needs.
Yeah.
I think that there is this traditional understood, like, okay, if you send your child to school and they have decent clothes and their hair is done X, Y, and Z, then you are a good parent. And it's like, in the same way that we have romantic love languages, kids have a way that they show love and want to receive love as well. So it's like, if having on the nicest, newest shoes, like I said, I'm not a gift person. So as a kid, if your way of being a good parent is to make sure I'm fresh, it's like, that's cool. But for me, I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese and spend time, So I think that parents should, and I'm not a parent, so I can't, give really too much advice. But like, I think that parents, where possible, should divorce the idea that if you meet certain criteria, you're automatically a good parent, because it's about the child's experience.